All right, guys, how's it going? So, let's talk about Xabi Alonso. Yeah, let's talk about Xabi Alonso. Now, just as a matter of interest, I'll just point this out to you. I've always thought that the longer there's silence from Liverpool regarding Alonso, the more likely it is to become a manager. You might think, well, how can Liverpool say anything? Well, they can't technically, officially, right? But what they can do is they can go through journalists to, provide some kind of running commentary or whatnot. Do you know what I mean? They could use the big guns. The only two that you should listen to, they could use David Ornstein or Born Again Joyce at the Times. Or they could even go through Fabrizio Romano. That's kind of like, them two are the only two you need to listen to. But you listen to Fabrizio Romano. I'm not shouting his name, Mo Salah. Did you notice that? Fabrizio Romano, you might want to listen to him as well, right? But, and then they've even got the clicker journalists, the next lockdown, do you know what I mean? That are no better than them on there, to be honest with you. They could get, Liverpool could, be putting, they could be putting out Liverpool not interested in Alonso through them, or Liverpool are targeting, Amorim or Nagelsmann or something like that. There's nothing coming out of Anfield, if you think about it, unofficially. I'd spot it a mile off, guys, if I see it, right? So you don't worry, you stay here. I'll make sure you know. But I've always thought the quieter it is, the more likely it's going to be Alonso. It's just my thought. However, by Leverkusen, are still planning to sit down with him. And Alonso could nip it all in the bud straight away if he wanted to as well, all right? So remain calm. See how calm I am? Right. We're going to be talking in this video about Ryan Babel. Do you remember him? When we signed Ryan Babel, I thought he was going to be one of the world's greatest footballers. I thought he had the potential to be one of the best. But I think he had more interest in being a DJ or something like that, or music, you know what I mean? Which is fine. But I do think it hindered his footballing career. And he's one of those players that's played for Liverpool that is, what's the word? But it's just very proud to be associated to Liverpool football. He mentions it every day. He's played for many clubs, but the one he always mentions, I played for Liverpool, mate. You know what I mean? So that's nice. He's proud of that, right? Ryan Babel once put a tweet out saying he wanted to bend me over and me up the while feeding me a cheeseburger. Fucking did. Can you believe that? Ryan Babel once tweeted that about me. He said, I want to bend him over while feeding him a cheeseburger. He did. Soon deleted it. And then his next tweet was something like, give my man at Duncan Oldham some shine. It's true. True story, that. It's true. I've tried anything once. But he's, I can't say what I want to say, do you know what I mean? But it's a bit similar to that, British broadcaster, you know what I'm saying? BBC, you know what I'm saying? So, not quite sure that I could go there, to be honest with you. Anyway, he's been talking about Alonso, and he says, I think maybe to replace Klopp, it would be a big risk for him. Of course, you can see he's a good manager in the making, but the difference with Leverkusen and Liverpool is that with Leverkusen, it's okay if you do well, but with Liverpool, you have to do well. I think it would be better for him to step in at a different time. Even though this is the perfect time, it's kind of contradictory, I think it will be very difficult and the pressure is very high to replace Klopp. Well, there you go, that's what Ryan Babel thinks. I'm sure you'll be able to sleep tonight now, knowing what he thinks, or maybe not sleep because he thinks that it's too soon for him. Listen, if Alonso or anyone else really wants to prove themselves as being a fantastic, as Brendan Rodgers would say, manager, then you take over from Jurgen Klopp, because that shows you've got of steel. Do you know what I mean? Like if Alonso was like, I don't fancy that, because Jurgen Klopp was the last manager, then we don't want him anywhere near the fucking club then, do we? And then I could have said that in Welsh, it would have sounded much better. Bri Partridge impression, here we go. Well, we don't want him near the bloody club then, do we? No, that absolutely didn't sound Welsh. It sounded like something else. which I can't even joke about these days. I love everyone. But you know what I mean? You don't, do you? If you're like, bottle job, all right, if you're not up to it, we don't fucking want you then. You know what I'm saying? I don't. Right, and then people are saying, especially the German media, the ones that are close to Bayern Munich are saying that Liverpool would be, too much pressure. Go to Bayern Munich, Bayern Munich will be a harder job than Liverpool, in my opinion, because I think at Liverpool, our supporters are brilliant. They give people time, right? Without a doubt, I don't think you could have a more patient fan base, to be honest with you. There'll be no booing or out like that, when things go pear-shaped or anything. Who's to say they would anyway? You've got a rebuild at Bayern Munich, and, no. If he leaves Bayer Leverkusen, notice I use the word if he leaves Bayer Leverkusen, he goes to Liverpool, I really do think that. I wouldn't rule him out staying there, to be honest with you. They're going to have one more sit-down or whatever, or a sit-down. But my heart still, well, not heart, my brain still says, I think it's his to lose at Liverpool. I do. There are other candidates, obviously. I'm just trying to think, of the last things that people said to me about different stuff, because there's been a lot of chatter this week. Ruben Amorim is obviously in there. Some people think Liverpool or FSG wouldn't want to pay the release clause. Julian Nagelsmann, I think he's, nobody's really giving him any attention. And I think Julian Nagelsmann is not someone that should be dismissed. Still think Alonso gets it. Pep Linders. Previously, from the start, I said don't rule him out, and he's remained consistently in the betting short. Sorry, I don't know why. Sometimes I lose my think about the man. He's remained short in the betting, and there are people making claims about him, blah blah blah. And I said to you, don't rule him out, even though he said he's leaving and all that. It'd be a fallback option if they couldn't get the priority targets. But now that Michael Edwards has come back, I'm not so sure about that, guys. I don't think it would happen. You know what I'm saying? So I still think it's Alonso's to lose. But, and I will say this, one, we know Bayer Leverkusen want to sit down with him. Will they guilt him into staying a little bit longer? Yeah, this might be his only ever opportunity managing Liverpool Football Club. I just don't see it. I just don't. I think he will. Well, we're told he wants the Liverpool job anyway. And we were told FSG favour him. We didn't mention Roberto De Zerbi, did we? But who does Edwards favour? This is the key thing here. This is the key thing. Some people think that he would favour Amorim. I'm still, as of today's date, I still think it's still Alonso. Can't remember what I was fucking saying now, to be honest with you. But it doesn't matter anyway. Waste of fucking time. I'll only waffle on about the same thing for another 10 minutes. All right. That's what Ryan Babel thinks anyway. Ryan Babel thinks it's too soon. I think if you want to be the best, then that's it. I still think it's Alonso, and I think he wants a job. That's what I was going to say. Sorry. So yeah, we know that they're going to have the sit down with Bayer Leverkusen. And the other thing though is if you're Alonso or any other manager, but if you're Alonso, he will want to speak to the owners, right, and say, right, what's the crack now? What's this new football strategy? Where do I stand in terms of, not so much the word power, but seniority? Like, am I going to be overruled on shit? What's the financial situation? What can I do? You don't take a job, do you, just because it's your dream fucking job? Well, some people might, but you want to know, is it going to be difficult for me? Are you going to make it easy for me? In the window, I would want to make some changes. I would need this. I'd like to bring this kid with me. He's a good striker. That kind of thing. Why am I getting notifications? Oh, I've won the lottery. I've won the lottery. €1. Well, it's €1. It's €1 more than I had when I started this video. Fucking hell. Wish I could get one of them messages every fucking 5 minutes. Sorry, I don't know what I'm talking. It doesn't matter anyway. Who gives a fuck what Ryan Babel thinks? Do you know what I mean? Right, I'm off. If you appreciate the video, thumbs up the video. If you want to drop me a comment, please do. Do you remember when he said about feeding me that cheeseburger? Well, weird thing to say, wasn't it? I'll do anything for a cheeseburger. Yeah, and if you want to buy me a cheeseburger, thanks. Don't be sat there going, I'm buying you a cheeseburger, you've had too fucking many. All right, then. Laxative? I don't know. Right, speak to you in a bit. What a shit video.